Today's video is sponsored by Fabulous, the #1 self-care app to help you build better habits and achieve your goals. Fabulous provides guidance to help build healthy habits and routines. I have spoken about this before in previous videos, but Fabulous works in 2 different ways, which is one of the reasons why I prefer this app over any other wellness coaching apps at the moment. Fabulous offers you the option to self-coach, and it will help you track your habits, and you can create your own, choosing hundreds of different recommended habits. The second way is through guided habit coaching. If you need guidance on where and how to start, Fabulous helps you use programs to reach your objective, developing your motivation, and also just discovering a wellness practice that suits you. That's one of the main reasons I use this app. It's 100% personalized, and I can just go at my own pace, holding myself accountable without feeling too guilty for needing to lessen my load. I want to talk quickly about the daily coaching on Fabulous. I did not realize how important daily coaching could be in my daily routine. I always saw it as something that might be a bit forceful or might be something that would be too demanding to maintain on a daily basis, but I've been incorporating this 3-minute session as a part of my meditative practice, and it's honestly just helped me stay grounded and centered, clear my mind, and also remain somewhat reflective of how my day's going, how I'm feeling, and what's happening around me in that moment. Start building your ideal daily routine. The first 100 people who click on the link will get 25% off a Fabulous subscription. So head to my description box, click on the link to start building your daily ideal routine. Thank you so much, Fabulous, for sponsoring today's video, and I'll now take us back to our reading. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's reading. I am the Hermit Tarot, if this is the first time that you're seeing me, and today's reading is going to be a pick a card tarot reading. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of cards in front of me, so let me just quickly introduce today's topic and what you can expect today. So the reading that I'm going to be doing is very extensive. It's going to be divided into 2 main groups. We're asking Spirit about the next 7 days. What can you expect? Specifically focusing on love and finances. Now, these readings usually tend to be quite general because a lot can happen in 7 days in terms of the choices you make now, and then sometimes not a lot can happen as well. So I thought we'd get a bit more specific by focusing on these 2 main themes and by really breaking it down and getting as much information about the next 7 days as possible. So keeping in mind that there's 2 main topics, I want you to really take your time today selecting a group. The first row contains cards for the love portion of this reading, and the second row contains the cards that the 4 groups for the finances reading will be called to. So I'm going to introduce the cards to help you get familiar with them, and maybe this will help you figure out which of these groups you're most called to. So what's going to happen in the next 7 days when it comes to love specifically? Let's move these cards out of the way for a little bit. Group 1, you have the healer card over here. When it comes to love in the next 7 days, this healer card has 2 main colors, I would say, but it also has the symbolism of the snake with this egg-like figure as well. So it's very symbolic. I love the author of this deck. Very esoteric and yet sometimes psychological as well. Group 2, for the next 7 days in love, you have the Self card over here. Very many colors on this card, and we see that symbolism of the pearl come back on this card as well. The pearl is often shown in this deck by the author, and it is the number 29, the Self card for Group 2. Group 1, you have the number 25, just in case numbers are significant. Group 3, for the next 7 days in love, you have the Mirror card over here. A fairly easy card to look at when it comes to color, but there's a lot of complex movement on this card because of the artist's way of, I want to say, dotting the background and then kind of cross-hatching this object in the front. We also see the moon on this card as some symbolism. The mirror card is also the number 68, excuse me, the number 68 for group 3, the next 7 days in love. Group 4, you have the Venom card, which is the number 63, and the Venom card is an interesting energy. I think it's because of the colors that she uses as well. There's a kind of moon-looking thing in the back here, but we also see these teeth, and then there's this kind of distorted green and yellow color as well on this card. So for the next 7 days in love, this is group 4's card, the Venom. So that is the 4 groups when it comes to love, the next 7 days in love. Now, for the next 7 days in career, we have group 1 over here with the castle. And when I say career, I mean finances as well in general. So group 1 with the castle card is mostly green, strong symbolism here with the closed eye and the rose and more pearls. And the castle card is the number, oh my gosh, 43. Is that right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Number 43 with the castle. Group 2, you have the number Gnosis for group 2, the next 7 days in finances. This is also the number 75. And Gnosis has this sort of swirling energy about it with this circle here, the sphere, should I say, here. And then we have this bird that is creating movement around the card as well. So that may be significant for group 2 if you're feeling called to that card. Group 3 for the next 7 days in finances, we have the Queen card, which is the number 11 in this deck. And this Queen card is quite bold. They all are in their own way, but there's only those 2 main colors on this card, excluding white. We have red and this yellow, as well as the moon coming back. And the Queen card, as I said, is the number 11 in this deck. So that's group 3 for finances. And last but certainly not least, we have group 4 over here for the next 7 days, specifically focusing on finances, the Vow, with the number 54. Yeah, 54. So the Vow, I mean, I don't really know how to describe it except that it's an intense imagery. 2 hands, one really grabbing the other, a dove sort of symbol here, this black background that's on top of a yellow surface as well. So the Vow is the number 54, and it's group 4 for the next 7 days in finances readings. So I chose to separate the 2 topics into 2 separate categories, because if you specifically just want to know about love for the next 7 days, you can do that. If you want to know about career for the next 7 days, you can do that. But also, say you pick group 1 for love, but group 3 for career. You know, I wanted to make it so that you have that opportunity to switch groups. So technically there's going to be 8 readings in today's video. For that reason, I am not going to do an extended for this video. It's going to be very extensive by itself. So we're going to just focus on the YouTube version of this reading, and there will be an extended in our next video. So take your time today selecting a group. Do whatever weird, wild, wonderful method you need to do to find a group that you're most called to. And when you're ready, you can click the timestamps in the description box and join me in your reading. So the first thing I want you to do with me is to take in 2 deep, mindful breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to focus on clearing your mind. It's natural to have thoughts racing at this point. I want you to embrace each thought as it comes and let it slip as quickly as it came in. Focus on clearing and balancing out these thoughts so that they come and go without a desire to be attached to them. And now, with a rested mind, I want you to think
of the first group that comes to your mind. It may be a number, it may be an object that I showed you. It could be a specific color, it could be a feeling that you felt when I showed you each of the groups today. When you are ready and when you feel confident, select your group and join me in your reading.
Hi Group 1, and welcome to your next 7 days in love reading specifically. We are going to be focusing mostly on love for you. If anything else comes up, then absolutely I'll address it. But my intention is to look at love specifically over the next 7 days. So Group 1, if you chose this healer card, obviously that's why you're here, you're in the right group. If you didn't choose this card, then you may have accidentally clicked on the wrong timestamp, so go back and make sure you're in your right group. Group 1, I've got 2 cards for you so far. These are both oracle cards. I shuffled this one off camera after you picked your group, and I just wanted to do a little bit of reading on this card. It's from a new deck of mine. I haven't used this deck on camera yet, and it's very symbolic, and there's a lot of spiritual symbolism in this deck. So I really wanted to make sure that I was feeling comfortable before I share the messages with you. But I can tell already that the main correlation between these 2 cards is that the next 7 days in love is specifically focused on you finding what you deserve. And for some of you, this involves awakening to that truth by discovering something about yourself or about somebody who you were dealing with when it comes to love. I think that with the healer being here, your chances in love are expanding, but in order to get to that point, we have to overcome a blockage that may be holding us back. And I don't think that this is going to be a significant blockage for a lot of you. It may just be a simple action or a simple thought that is standing in the way of you having that love that you deserve. The healer, for me, is a turning point in our journey where we can look at the opportunities of moving forward by addressing something that is standing in our way. And in this particular instance, I'm really called to the colors on your card, this sort of sacral chakra to solar plexus chakra symbolism. The 3-headed snake is no joke either. 3s for me are always like kind of forking, and this idea of your opportunities expanding, fertility, abundance, and growth being offered. With this egg in the eye here, I do think that it all starts with you awakening to something and seeing something for what it truly is. The goal of this card is to move you forward. Although this growth may be uncomfortable at first, this truth, this awakening may be uncomfortable at first, the idea is we can see clearly now and we have the ability to move forward. And for me, this number 25 is also referencing our abilities to grow through challenges and to overcome them with choice. It's this idea of no matter how confrontational the situation is, or how stuck we may feel, or how challenging something may seem to be, we always have choices, and those choices can help us overcome those challenges. In your case, your choice seems to be knowing your worth and knowing what you deserve with the blessing of Zara here. This card is referencing your ability to look up and face the light, to not only see the truth, but to see the goodness and to see the worth and how much beauty is around you and how much opportunity surrounds you. I think with Blessing of Zara coming out, there is a need to really connect with your heart chakra before you even think about moving forward, because this Blessing of Zara is reminding you not only of your self-worth, but of the many opportunities that connecting with your heart chakra can give you. And in your case, the heart chakra can be a very not complicated, but let's say diverse energy. It can be more towards love and compassion, kindness, or it can be more towards healing, especially your immune system and cleansing your body through tapping into your respiratory system and your lungs. So I feel like for you, your group, I was about to say your team, so okay, stick together in the comments, group one. Make sure you're supporting each other with helpful messages. I think the next 7 days for you definitely starts with this turning point of you connecting with your worth and really trying to feel what your emotions are trying to tell you. I want to read you a little passage from this card, because as I was reading up on it, this little 4-line passage felt so significant for your group. So it's only 4 lines, short and sweet. This is the passage. Let go of thought. Don't take it into your heart. You are naked, and thought is like ice. I think the overall goal right now for your group when it comes to love is to eventually get you moving, get you inspired to take direction and to be excited about your future. But before we get there, we need to remove doubt. We need to observe fear as a helpful accomplice rather than a limiting foe. And we need to connect back with our heart's intentions, our heart's desires, in order to embrace that inspiration and that movement forward. And I think that the reason why Blessing of Zara is here is because love never left you. You just got to look in the right direction sometimes. And in this card, the idea of the beautiful figure looking up is that that's where the light is. That's where the source is coming from, the source of this beautiful energy that this character is seeking. So it kind of feels like, group one, that in the next 7 days, you're going to awaken to where your main source of love is coming from, whether that's an internal energy or whether it's about actually realizing that the person you have been manifesting or seeking when it comes to love has been right in front of you all along, but perhaps you weren't facing in the right direction. So let's get some tarot out now. Group one, please, Spirit. What can you tell them about their next 7 days in love? What is happening for group one, next 7 days in love? Group one, please, Spirit. The card coming out first is the Four of Pentacles. Can I get another card, please, Spirit? What is happening next in love for group one? We have the Knight. One more card. What is happening next in love for group one, please, Spirit? I'm hearing that Kanye West sample. Even if you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be night. 8 of Cups in the reverse position. Wow. There's a lot happening. It's a very internal process, though, sweets. It's not a lot of physical change. It's more about you finding the courage to not give up on something that you really want and to be able to work with your fear to move forward towards something that you truly desire. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit because we don't need to be this far out. Focusing purely on tarot, we start our journey with this Four of Pentacles here. So the next 7 days in love for you, I can see that there's something that is making you feel very closed off. You're kind of in a position where you feel like you don't have a lot to gain, but you certainly have some things that you could lose. So if you're single, I feel like you're struggling to kind of open up and to let people in and to be approachable as well. It feels like you may be clinging on to something that is barely there. If you're in a relationship, it feels like you're feeling very frugal. And the way that this is kind of translating in a love sense is that your partner, you may be wanting a lot of their time, or you may be really sort of holding on to something that needs to be more equally given and more open. It feels like you're the group that is spending a lot of time kind of shutting down and not wanting to be very reciprocal when it comes to love. I feel that the next 7 days is mostly an internal process for your group, a process with a lot of reflection, with a lot of thoughts, a lot of maybe sleepless nights or just intense dreams, because your soul and your mind are trying to scour information. And I think that your feelings are being pulled in a way where you may think that you're sad, or you may translate those strong feelings as, oh gosh, like it's not going to work out. I just kind of feel like you're going through an opportunity here to be able to know what you need to do. And I think that temporarily with the Knight here, it's going to just kind of make you feel a bit down and alone, especially. I think that this Knight opportunity is actually the turning point for you, because it's highlighting what you're most afraid of and what you most need slash want in your life. And whether that is connection for your group, you're going to realize, why was I shutting down when I really just want connection? I really just want someone like that in my life. Or for others of you, you may have someone in your life that you're interested in, but you have been shutting down, and it's like, why am I pushing them away? I really like this person and I want to see where it's going. I think that this process of reflection has you really tapping into a very deep rooted a fear, is what I want to say, but it's more of like an understanding of why you behave a certain way that you always thought was unexplainable. And maybe a loved one has even said to you, group one, how come every time something good happens, you always assume it's going to end? And you're kind of like, oh, wow, that's so true. And I do know that, but I've never really thought about it that much. Whatever this is here, it feels slightly self-sabotaging for some of you, but for all of you, it's just a temporary passing of time that you can easily understand better with a small period of introspection. And I think you do need some time alone this week, if you can give yourself that, just to understand your feelings better. Because initially you're going to think, why do I feel like this? Oh, that's so annoying. Or why am I scared? Why am I afraid? Why is this feeling here? Why am I struggling? What's going on? You just need to have the space and the opportunity to sit with self, to realize that it's a temporary feeling and that you're actually quite excited despite that temporary heaviness of fear. I think in the next 7 days, you're going to challenge yourself to be more open. And it all starts with this understanding of, I'm allowed to be afraid. Being afraid is a natural response to a new situation or to an unfamiliar situation. And moving forward, I'm going to try to be more open. I see you ending this week trying to allow something to come back, whether it's a feeling, a person, or a thought. You're not letting your fears and your doubts stop these things from actually fulfilling their potential cycle in your life. Whereas I think prior to this night of introspection, or this heavy moment of thinking, you used to kind of either shut down or cut things short instead of letting them run their full cycle, because you thought, oh, this isn't going to go anywhere anyway, or maybe this isn't going to be the best case scenario, so I'm just going to stop it now. I see you trying to give allowances to let things go full circle, whether that's a relationship in your life, you're giving it the benefit of the doubt. You know what? If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, but I'm not going to shut it down prematurely. I'm going to allow it to run full circle. I see some of you revisiting old feelings and old thoughts for the pure idea of allowing things to go full circle. It's kind of like with the Eight of Cups, you're trying to approach old situations that you previously self-sabotaged or were too afraid to allow to continue to happen. And for some of you, it's not that self-sabotaging behavior. It's just that you shut down and the opportunity wasn't able to continue moving forward. I think that the next I was supposed to say 7 days, but 3 days seems to be significant too. The next 7 days for you in love is really about understanding how a temporary feeling of being stuck and not really getting what you want is encouraging you to look in the right direction and to understand a good opportunity when it comes your way. Because it's only when you're at this point with the Four of Pentacles, where you've barely got two things to rub together, two coins to rub together, in your case, two hearts to beat together, that you're realizing, oh my gosh, like actually maybe I should have given this person a chance, or maybe I should have been more open in that social setting, or maybe I should have communicated my feelings more, or maybe I should be a bit more open to other people's energies right now. If that's really what I want, I think you're realizing that there's a side of you, Group 1, that really is craving connection right now, especially something emotional. And in the past, I think that you struggled to allow that to happen. So this week, you're going to try to be more communicative with your loved ones, and you're going to try to be more receptive and open to potential lovers or current lovers that you have in your life. And this is allowing people to understand you better. You're going to have some loved ones say, oh my gosh, I had no idea what you were going through. I just assumed you were okay. I just assumed that you didn't need any help. And I just assumed that you were going to be fine. I didn't realize you were going through this dark night business, and I didn't realize you still wanted me there with you. So it's quite profound, and that's why I think that a lot of it's going to be internal for your group, because it's going to be a process of you realizing this about yourself before you allow other people in as well. Let's get some advice for you, even though I do think we did get a bit of advice. Let's see what Spirit wants you to know. Spirit, what is some helpful advice for Group 1 when it comes to love over the next 7 days? What is some helpful advice for Group 1? We have making a choice. It's coming back to choices for you. This is the number 30 in this beautiful deck, and this card is reversed. So real quick, I'm feeling called to read something from the book again. I'm not a reader usually. Obviously I am, but I'm not like a book reader. Usually I do things intuitively, and I hardly ever read guidebooks. And yet recently, me trying to really take advantage of my feminine energy, I've started reading the guidebooks again and wanting to connect with the literal meanings. So, making a choice when it's reversed, the message is this is not the time to abdicate responsibility for your life. Letting others choose for you doesn't make things easier. Don't compromise because you're afraid of facing the consequences of your choices. Even if you've opted for a difficult path, you can always make another choice in the future. There is great power in reclaiming your ability to choose. No one can take that away from you, no matter what. Don't give your power away. If you're willing, be rigorously honest with yourself about your motives behind your choices. You may see the need to change things. You can change course and choose another route, however you say it. Just be willing to clean up what you've left behind. So I do see you being at a turning point here. And this turning point is allowing you to see things differently, to change direction, and to potentially go down a different path. Nothing is set in stone, sweet pea, and you are the creator of your life. I think that divine intervention is at play here to give you this moment of clarity where you're able to ascertain whether this is the path that you want to be on. And I think what many of you will realize in the next 7 days is that this is not the path that you had wanted for yourself when it comes to love. You were wanting more connection, more compassion, and more of an emotional feeling of connection and love around you. So your turning point is that you can change that by being more emotionally open and by understanding that this is something that you need. You need more connection to those who love you, and you need more chances for others to come towards you in love as well. So group one, that is what I'm seeing for you when it comes to love in the next 7 days. That is your message. It is still a general reading, so if you think that there were parts that didn't resonate for you, by all means, don't force it to fit and don't let it take from you. You're welcome to have a look at any other group in this reading to see if you have messages for the next 7 days. Likewise, you're welcome to come back after 7 days and see if you have any messages for the next 7 days. Thank you so much for all of your support. I want to thank our spiritual teams as well for helping me channel these messages and for keeping me safe while doing so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I shall connect with you in another video. Bye. Hi group 2 and welcome to your reading. If you chose the self card over here, then this is going to be your next 7 days in love reading. So welcome. Now group 2, I have pre-shuffled this oracle card as well for you. I'm using this card from a new deck and it's a very beautiful, honestly, it's not that it's got a heavy energy, but it's got a strong energy, this deck. So I've been taking time tentatively getting to know it and trying to understand the author / creator's intentions for the deck better. So I am still quite connected to the guidebook and using the guidebook where necessary. I'm an intuitive reader, so I don't do this unless I feel called to, and in this case, this deck's energy is very specific and I just want to respect it. So I do have a message for you from the guidebook for this deck. But before we get to that, I want to talk about your self card. So I'm getting overall group 2 that the next 7 days for you when it comes to love have to do with you finding a new appreciation for your situation. It feels like your perspective towards your circumstances is changing for the better. I think that you're going to be more optimistic about love in the next 7 days. You're going to feel as though you have many opportunities. And for most of you, you're going to feel surrounded by love. You may have the opportunity to be appreciated by loved ones, and it boosts your confidence and helps you feel really good about yourself. But I kind of feel like you're getting this beautiful, positive rush of warmth around you in the next 7 days, and it makes you feel very confident and secure. And I kind of think that you have admirers and people who kind of help you solidify this confidence within yourself. But regardless, with the self card here, it feels like a main theme in the next 7 days of love for you is feeling as though love is all around you and feeling as though you have such a strong connection to love from within. I want to say that someone could be playing a vital role the next week. If you're someone who's really struggling with your self-image and with how you feel about yourself, someone in the next week could be really helping you connect with your more confident nature, because I am also drawn to the fact that this figure is very dark, right? They've got this sort of dark energy, this black light, this black color, and they're surrounded by color. They're surrounded by brightness and all these sort of optimistic energies. So if you're not feeling great about yourself right now, I do see that changing in the next 7 days, so long as you're willing to let that external force in. I feel like the universe is going to be throwing things your way to help you open up and feel better about yourself, allowing love to kind of come in and offer you compassion and kindness, as well as this boost of self-esteem. If you remain closed off and you absolutely refuse to let other people kind of give you compliments or help you see what you already have within you, then I do think that this heaviness will persist for you. But I sense that for most of you, group 2, the main energy is it's time to start remembering how much love is out there and how much love you are surrounded by. I think the main goal of this week is to help you feel supported and to help you feel like love never left you. With this blood angel here, it feels like the goal is to just wrap you up in this beautiful, warm energy and help you feel more secure and also a little bit more passionate as well. I do see divine intervention with this 7. I see their desire to be movement here with 7 as well, kind of chariot energy. But in order to do that in the most helpful way, I think that we need the chance to see what is out there again. So I do think that somebody will be playing a role for you in the next 7 days that offers you that chance to move forward, feeling better about yourself, feeling determined, feeling confident, especially if you're single or you're in a relationship where you feel a little disheartened sometimes and you lose sight of the positives. It kind of feels like the main goal here is to get you back on track, feeling confident and feeling optimistic about the direction that you're heading in. So let us get some tarot out here and we will have a proper look at the next 7 days. I apologize. I'm going to get tarot out, but there's a passage in here that Spirit wants me to read for you. It's a passage that I was reading, so I do want to apologize because it's a bit lengthy in advance. The other group's passage wasn't this big, so buckle up, Buttercup. It's not as lengthy as I'm making out to be anyway. So here it is, group 2. Blood angel, in the midst of the darkness, a moon appeared with its brilliance. Stepping down from the clouds, it glanced at me. Like a falcon that hunts a bird and steals it away, it captured me and flew back to infinite space. As I looked for myself, I could not find me, for my body had become all soul in the tenderness of love. It's like Spirit wants to capture you and steal you away from your woes, from your darkness, reminding you that you are loved and that you have the chance to be loved in any given moment in time. And I think that's where the self comes into play, because obviously we have love within, and love for self can be our grounding, our sort of root to that emotion before we find it from external sources as well. So if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling disheartened, if you're losing confidence, if you're getting to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, it's really hard to imagine things getting better, I feel that the next 7 days is about grounding you in that strong root of love from self, from source, so that you may also receive that kind of love from external energies. Now, let's have a look at the next 7 days for you, please. Group 2, Spirit. What does the next 7 days in love look like for Group 2? Because for a lot of you, we have the Empress coming out first. A lot of you have someone in your life, I feel, that is going to play a significant role in this loving energy. What is going on for Group 3? 2. I saw the 3 on Empress and I got confused. What's going on for Group 2 in love over the next 7 days, Spirit? Group 2, we have the 2 of Torches showing up in the reverse position. 2 of Torches. What is happening in love for Group 2 over the next 7 days, please, Spirit? Group 2. What is happening for Group 2 in love over the next 7 days? We have the 6 of Torches as well showing up for you in the upright. Love it. So, wowzers, let me just sit in your energy for a little bit. Back of the deck, we have the 6 of Swords. So the overall goal here is balance, justice, harmony, moving forward, victory, success. Spirit is really wanting you to move forward, sweets. You're not supposed to be feeling stuck and stagnant right now. You're someone who is on to big things in general, and then especially when it comes to love. I see that the goal right now for you is definitely to show you the opportunities you have around you, to get you in a state of fruition. When it comes to love, y'all are expanding your scope of love, and I see this happening by ways of creation. Some of you, it's about children and potentially conceiving or trying to have a child or giving birth to a child. But for all of you, the goal here is fruition through love, creation through love. So the next 7 days, I see this idea of looking at how you can create through love by understanding what resources are available to you and how much love you possess within you, sweets. I think that some of you, your mother or a mother figure, could be playing a significant role in the next 7 days as well. This person may help ground you in your more maternal abilities, or you're kind of helping confirm to you that it's been done before, it can be done again. It's kind of that idea of mentoring for some of you, and just that grounding, healing energy of a mother figure encouraging you on this path forward through creation and fruition. If that doesn't resonate, I do see all of you becoming this Empress in the next 7 days, feeling more confident about the path that you're on and where your efforts are headed to, whether that means you're conceiving a physical child, or whether that means that right now, sweets, with it being the Empress, you're in a very abundant energy. You're at a point in your life where you are creating, and you have this ability to turn around turn what is around you into gold and into everlasting chances for abundance. I know that that sounds dramatic, but I'm looking at the Empress as someone who can create a lot of connection and success in their material world. And the goal here is a strong connection to the natural world. And our main way we create is obviously through creating more humans, but sometimes a connection to the natural world is also about creating more connection, creating more fertility, more chances to be connected to our natural environment as well. So I think that overall, the goal here is to get you grounded again, to help you feel your potential, and to help you stay connected to your resources. The Empress is more of like a Taurus energy, a Venusian energy. Venus is very strong with the Empress. So I would also liken that to being connected to your own self and how you exemplify this image of abundance. Maybe it's kind of like, again, people are watching you, sweets. Some of you, people are noticing your growth and noticing what you're capable of and how abundant you are. And sometimes that can be an intimidating thing to realize, but other times it gets you back on track and it helps reinstill that drive to succeed, because you want to be successful within your own self-image as well as within the eyes of others who look up to you and care for you. So if you have children, maybe this is all about you looking at them, looking at you and with admiration, and wanting to fulfill those admirations, or that admiration that you see in their eyes when they're looking at you as well. So next we have this Two of Torches reversed energy, and I think that the turning point in the next 7 days for you is really honing in and focusing on something specific when it comes to love. For some of y'all, this Two of Torches can feel like there's too much to focus on at one time. So your chances, your opportunities are so great or so vast or so nondescript that you're kind of overwhelmed by the freedom and the choice. It's kind of like, well, what do I do if I can do anything? You know, what do I want if I can have anything? I see that your passion, your desire is going to be very specifically focused on one thing here. And I think that when it comes to love, this is more about eliminating the overwhelming uncertainty of what you should do, by feeling more sure of what you want to do and what you can do. This may be a temporary setback for some of you. It may come across as a rejection because you thought you could do this and now someone's telling you no, you can't. But I want you to look at it as more of a process of elimination. By not being able to travel in that direction when it comes to love, you now have the chance to focus more on this instead. And even though it may not be what you thought you wanted, I do have a feeling with the Six of Torches being here that it's actually everything that you needed, and it's going to be something that makes you feel a lot better and a lot more confident about where you're headed. So in the middle of the week here, there's this turning point where it feels like rejection, but it's actually the process of elimination, helping us know what we need to focus on rather than getting confused by everything that we can do. Now, if I look at that in a love context specifically, I want to say that if you are planning on doing something with a partner, or if you're planning on having something done this week when it comes to love, I see that being delayed in some way and being redefined in a new direction that feels not as grand as what you originally hoped for, but it's definitely a path that you're going to feel very happy about in the end, especially with the Six of Torches here. It kind of, to put it into one context, maybe you were hoping to go out and to meet people and to see things and to kind of put your feelers out there, and it was the idea of bringing new energy in that had attracted you to this opportunity. Maybe you and your partner wanted to go out on a date night and you hadn't done it for a while. You wanted to bring that new energy in. If you're single, maybe you wanted to go out there and go to dinner with a close friend, and it was that idea again of bringing new energy and potentially meeting new people. I see that being cancelled and for some reason being directed into another path, a very specific path, which helps you feel more confident about your path forward. So you end this week feeling confident, feeling successful, feeling victorious, feeling recognized. So you do have eyes on you, sweet. Someone is definitely watching you and almost kind of coaxing you through this. And I think that at the end of the week, this confidence is what is going to help you move forward and communicate more to those who may be in the peripherals. If you have someone in your life when it comes to love, I see that by the end of the week, you're going to feel more expressive, more confident about them, about where you stand with them, and about where you want things to head with them. If you're very single, group 2, I still firmly believe that you're going to end this week feeling more confident about what you need to do when it comes to love for yourself. Some of you are going to end up going back on social media or connecting with people on the internet in order to get more chances in love, or in order to move your love relationship forward, because I do eventually see for you a new opportunity in love. And I see that a big part of this is about priming the energy around you, eliminating the confusion, eliminating the waste, and just focusing on the overall sense of victory and confidence as you move forward in love. So we're trying to kind of wrap you in a bubble wrap of love here with the Blood Angel, and making you feel more confident and open and optimistic. I think that's the biggest goal, while also focusing on what you actually need right now rather than what you think is available to you. So that's what I'm seeing when it comes to love in the next 7 days. Let us get some advice for you to close your reading. Group 2, please, Spirit. What is the advice for Group 2 over the next 7 days when it comes to love? Group 2, please, Spirit. Group 2, you have cleaning house coming out for you in the reverse position. This is the number 37. This card has a lot of imagery as well, so pause the video if you want to have a look at it for longer. But I can tell you right now, with this card coming out in the reverse position, Your main advice from Spirit right now is to not take any hasty action. It's all about moving forward with purpose and with focus when it comes to love for you. Not just kind of throwing yourself in this direction or putting yourself out there for the sake of putting yourself out there. I think Spirit wants you to be very clear about what you're moving forward for, why you're moving forward, and like kind of just what the goal is. Cleaning house reversed indicates that there are some things that we need to do before we're ready to open that door and let people into our lives. And with this card being reversed, it kind of feels like the goal here is to just tidy up the edges. Maybe, get rid of those cobwebs or sweep that dust out, or ensure that we've kind of made ourselves into a space that is ready for what we want before we truly let that in. It's kind of saying to me that there is going to be this new sense of appreciation for your current situation, because for some of you, you may think that you really want something in your life right now, but you're also going to think to yourself by the end of the week, gosh, I'm so glad I don't have that yet. It makes me think of those who, are single and think that they really want someone in their life, and then there's moments where they're like, you know what, actually I'm so grateful that I don't have to negotiate what I want to do tonight with somebody else. I'm so glad that I can just do what I want and that I still have that freedom. So until that person comes, I'm going to use that freedom to do something that I genuinely want to do, rather than something that I need to do to appeal to my partner's, standards. So it is this idea of optimistically switching your mind, and I don't know if it's intentional. I think it's just about you trying to make the most out of your situation and trying not to be too down in the dumps and trying to be more optimistic in general. So your advice here is to, if you're experiencing delays, if you think you're ready but things still aren't moving forward in the way that you want, then examine your situation a little bit further and use that delay or that feeling of, oh, it's not here yet, to truly take advantage of where you're at right now. Sometimes it's actually a relief to not have to worry about where I'm going to next, and to simply just be present in your present moment. So that's what I'm seeing for you, group 2, when it comes to love in the next 7 days. I hope that was helpful for you. I hope there are a lot of messages there that can help support you in the next week. If you believe you have messages in other groups, you're welcome to check the timestamps again and join me over there. It's been a pleasure to read for you today, group 2. Remember, it is a general reading, so by all means, take what resonates and do not let the rest take from you. I want to thank you for all of your support over here on YouTube, and a massive thank you to our spiritual teams, angels, ancestors, and guides for helping me channel these messages and for keeping me safe while doing so. And I shall connect with you in another video. Bye! Hi group 3, and welcome to your reading. So lovely to have you here. If you chose this mirror card over here, then this is going to be your reading today. Now, your mirror card is one of the 2 oracle cards that I have out already. We also have Passion for Purpose over here with the number 2 from one of my new oracle decks, and there is just a little excerpt / passage that is in the guidebook of this deck that I do want to read for you eventually. So we're asking Spirit today, group 2, about the next 7 days in love for you. Excuse me, your group 3, I apologize. I saw that 2 there and I started talking about 2s. So firstly, your energy is interesting. It's kind of like, the best way that I could describe the main theme for you is kind of like looking through a looking glass. There is something about your next 7 days that feels like a fantasy. It feels a little bit whimsical. It feels like we get to play with the truth a little bit and dream a little bit and not focus so much on reality. For some of you, you could be using your love life in the next 7 days as a form of distraction away from your heavier stuff. And just away from the things that have become too serious for you, especially with this mirror over here. This mirror energy, group 3, is very whimsical. It's kind of like Alice looking through the looking glass. especially with the moon here. Remember, you're the number 68. So this 8 energy just feels like that moon energy of distortion at times. I think your next 7 days, you're going to be looking at only like a fraction of the bigger picture. And it could be simply because you're in a situation where you're trying to escape reality. But for others of you, it feels like we're using our eyes to specifically only focus on one aspect. It's almost like you don't want to see anything else. A little bit like tunnel vision, which is what I'm getting with Passion for Purpose, this beautiful card. See that tunnel over here? I want to read you the passage before we move forward with that card because it's a very strong energy in its own little way, because at times this card is subtle, for me at least, and then in your case I think that it can really pull you in, this passion. So here's your excerpt, group 3. Love, like life, flows through the heart. Feel the thrill of the flow and say nothing. So I do think that your passions, your desires, and a yearning is going to be kind of the highlight, or should I say one of the main themes of your love life this week. It feels like you're very much here kind of yearning for something or desiring someone in particular. Some of y'all are going to have a very passionate week, and it's kind of because of this flame that's been ignited within you. I think that most of you are dealing with a person or an idea of someone in your mind that you're really ruminating on and yearning for. So let's get some tarot out to better understand your week ahead. Group 3, please, Spirit. What is happening in the next 7 days for Group 3 in terms of their love life? What is happening in the next 7 days for Group 3 in terms of their love life? What is happening in the next 7 days for Group 3, Spirit, in terms of their love life? We have the 9 of Cups in the reverse position. What is happening for Group 3 over the next 7 days in terms of their love life? We have the 6 of Torches in the reverse position, if it'll focus for us. Surely. There we go. Kind of, for a second. For a second, we saw it. I'm going to zoom into the cards anyway. One more card, the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. So this is very opposite to the energy I was picking up on in your theme, and I can kind of see why now. Bottom deck energy is the Queen of Swords. Okay, so the next 7 days is about getting a bigger picture, a broader perspective, but I do see that a lot of you are frustrated because over the next 7 days, when it comes to love, you're feeling as though things are moving very slowly. Your emotional needs aren't being met. You're not really getting what you want. And it kind of feels like because of that, your situation is getting the best of you. I want to say with the Queen of Swords as your bottom deck energy, Group 3, love in the next 7 days isn't about cold, calculated action, although it could be that way for some of you. It's more about observation, understanding the big picture, and making sure that you're gathering information before you take action. Because I sense with your group, once you move with intention and with actions that could, slice very easily. So your superpower this week is observation, gathering information. And I think that for some of you, you're kind of learning more about the situation in a way where you can be very controlling over the overall image. It makes me think that you have more facts than what you're letting other people see or what you're letting yourself see at times. The Queen of Swords could paint a very specific picture if she wanted to, because she controls the information. She sees everything from her position. And yet with the mirror and passion for purpose here, our focus is laser pointed and we seem to have tunnel vision. So it seems like your situation is kind of a matter of perception at times. But I want to say that we start this week feeling quite unfulfilled, feeling as though something is getting the better of us and that we're not happy. I want to say that the start of the week with the Nine of Cups reversed, you're noticing a situation drain you rather than fulfill you. And with your overall energy being this passion, this yearning, it's really weighing on you and it's making you feel like something has to give. And I want to say that this is where you're starting to look at things and strategize, although you're not ready to take action. It makes me think that you're not fully connected to the situation. You're just focusing on what isn't working at the start of this 7-day period. I want to say as well, though, with the Six of Torches over here, in your second position, by the middle of the week, you're starting to notice the weak links in your love life. You're starting to notice why you feel like this. You're starting to be more aware of what is making you feel not happy and what is also sabotaging your success when it comes to love. And you've heard enough, you've seen enough, you know enough now to know what needs to kind of change. But I do want to say with the Six of Torches reversed, something could happen in the middle of the week that still, despite you knowing all of this, makes you feel frustrated, makes you feel angry, makes you even feel jealous, sweets. Something with this Six of Torches reversed really brings your mood to a next level of passionate, almost rage for some of you. But instead of getting angry at that situation, this is where we start to use our passion to move forward. And that's where the passion for purpose and mirror come into play. Because instead of dwelling on this for too long and getting angry and feeding all of this energy into that for too long, I see you starting to look at your options instead and a way forward instead. So I want to say that for some of you, a scenario that I'm getting to kind of help paint this picture is that you could be dealing with somebody who is not making you happy. Your love life is starting to feel like more of a sad life, and it's making you feel like you're being used in this situation, or it's making you feel like the person you're dealing with is not appreciating what you have to offer. You know you're a catch. You know you could be a wonderful partner, a lover, and you know that you have a lot of passion to share, but it's not being appreciated. So by the end of this week, with the Seven of Pentacles over here in the upright, I see you really sowing some seeds and making some meaningful investments when it comes to your love life. Now, what this looks like is you trying to set yourself up for future success in love by reaching out and potentially making new connections or sowing seeds with people who you know are going to be able to give you this emotional fulfillment and make you feel like you have a positive outlet for your passion rather than like you're just getting angry based on your inability to express yourself in your relationship. I want to say that for some of you, there could be sexual tension as well, sexual frustration as well. And it's like you're looking for ways to release that. So by the end of the week, I see you setting yourself up for something in the future. I want to say that some of you may go from one person to another within the 7-day period because someone at the start of the week is not ticking your boxes. So you're maybe making that plan to see somebody else by the end of the week. I don't know if you'll see them within the week, but you're already kind of bridging something here with the Seven of Pentacles. I think that y'all are my petty group, okay? It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, no judgment. But I just want to say that you are the group that would do something petty out of anger, out of spite. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that do what you need to get through it, but it is definitely a temporary thing. I'm feeling for all of you that there is not the greatest start here to the week, but you end the week feeling more certain, feeling more stable, because you know that whatever you're setting yourself up for is so much better than where you've come from. It's kind of like the Seven of Pentacles is an investment for you, and it's about that risk and reward ratio. Whoever or whatever you were dealing with at the start of the week was far too risky and was not making you happy. By the end of the week, you're invested in something that is going to, over time, grow and give you more security within this relationship. I feel like some of y'all need more outlets as well. So I want to say, with that Six of Torches reversed, in that moment of weakness or feeling like something isn't giving you what you want it to, it's very important that you don't accidentally self-sabotage and do something that is going to just make you feel good temporarily. I don't see a lot of you doing that, especially with the Seven of Pentacles upright. This isn't instant gratification energy. This is more, I'm going to plant the seed and wait until it gives me that delicious pumpkin at the end. I'm not going to lose sight and just eat the flower before the pumpkin's even had a chance to grow. But I do think with the Six of Torches and the Nine of Cups reversed, you're just not in your power at the start of the week. And when we do these, when we're not in our power, we sometimes do things that aren't going to build us, but rather break us. So that's the only thing that I want to say for your group 2, is just be careful throughout the next 7 days, and make sure that you're not going to accidentally do something that you're going to regret, like hit up that ex, or accidentally mess around, do something petty, and then feel worse about the situation. So is there anything else that group 3, I keep wanting to say 2 because of this card, is there anything else that group 3 needs to know about their next 7 days in love before we get them advice, Spirit? Wow. What is that song? I want to make you happy. I want to make you smile. You might be just trying so hard to make something happen with someone, and it's turning into a pit of hope. It's like you're just putting all your hope into this bottomless pit, and like one day I'll see it come back, and you're going to realize, you know what? This pit is just taking. It's time to find my 10 of Cups. It's time to find that person, that situation that is going to make me happy. Or it's time to finally talk about these difficult issues, address them for what they are, so that we have a chance to be happy, so that we have a chance to be more stable and to heal the situation. It's time to finally leave these old patterns of behavior behind, because it's not making anybody succeed, and it's certainly not making me happy. It's not giving this relationship a chance. We need to close this old cycle once and for all and develop a new situation. Three of Pentacles reversed is interesting. I see a lot of you cutting someone off this week, or just distancing yourself from someone. It feels like your goal this week is to get to the root of why you're unhappy, to understand your passions better, and to understand your vision better, to get a better look at the overall picture, and to feel more confident in how you can move forward. Because I think with the Seven of Pentacles, you're willing to be patient as long as there's reward at the end. It's not like you're not willing to wait, but just you need a confirmation that this is the right thing that you should be waiting for. So let's get some advice for you, group 3. What is the advice for group 3 in the next 7 days when it comes to love? Hi. Oh, the Golden Palace, number 23. A lot of symbolism here. We've got a crescent moon at the top. We've got a moon behind the castle as well. I never realized. We have a castle or a temple, and we've got this jungle, and there's a little creature. Oh no, sorry, that's not a creature. That's just a leaf. I've always thought there was a creature in this deck. Let me look for a second. I thought there was a creature. Maybe not. There's birds. One of these decks has, one of the cards in this deck, sorry, has a snake in it. and it was hidden for the most part. I don't think it's this card. I can't see a snake, but we do have birds up here. So, wow, as advice, group 3, the Golden Palace is first of all represented by one of my favorite numbers, the number 23. The number 23 is about that point of reference in terms of, well, in my interpretation, many different people will have different interpretations. There's obviously numerology as well that would look at it differently. But I look at it as finding a solid point of reference in order to expand, feeling inspired, feeling at least aware of your wants and needs in order to move forward. It kind of feels like your chances here in love come from a choice that you need to make. And your advice here is to choose the option that is going to maybe not be easy, but offer you the most growth. The Golden Palace for me is like, you could have this beautiful, bright future, but you've got to get through this jungle first. You've got to find your way through this maze of roots, branches, trees, leaves before you get to the palace. And everything you could want is in that palace. So in the next 7 days, you're going to have a choice to make, group 3. And when it comes to love, don't do what's easy. Do what needs to be done for yourself in order for you to grow. It's going to be tricky, but the trickiness or the challenge of it is temporary. Once you overcome that challenge, your growth and the confirmation that you're on the right path is going to be instantaneous. It's going to be very obvious what you need to do, although it may be difficult. So group 3, when it comes to love in the next 7 days, that is what I'm seeing for you, sweet pea. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you believe you have messages in other groups, you're welcome to go back to the timestamps and have a look, see which group you're feeling most called to. I want to thank you for all of your support, group 3. Remember, this is a general reading, so take what resonates. Do not let the rest take from you. Before you go, I also want to thank our spiritual teams, angels and ancestors, for helping me channel these messages and for keeping me safe while doing so. And I shall connect with you in another video. Bye. Hi group 4, and welcome to your reading. If you chose this Venom card over here, then this is going to be your next 7 days in love reading. So welcome. Now group 4, I will be pulling another oracle card for you. I didn't shuffle it first for some reason. I just got straight into your reading. But you are going to have 2 oracle cards before we get some tarot. Starting with this Venom card, I can kind of tell that the next 4 readings on my days, the next 7 days is kind of about you standing up for yourself in some way. It feels like this action needs to be taken against something that is harmful, something that could be toxic, or something that is pushing you to be assertive in some way. I'm really called to this 10 and 3, which feels like the number 13. However, the number on your card is 63. So it just kind of feels like you have to assert yourself over something here, be successful in offering yourself the chance to continue to grow and develop. Now let's pull that second oracle card out to help us get a better picture of what the next 7 days is going to look like. Group 2, please, Spirit. What is happening for them in love over the next 7 days? Did I say group 2? I apologize. My numbers have been all off all day. It's terrible. Group 4, what is happening next in love for them in the next 7 days? Group 4, please, Spirit. What is happening in love for them in the next 7 days? Group 4, please, Spirit. Group 4. Well, welcome. Took a little while. I'm using a new deck, so the energies and I are still getting to know each other. Sacred Convergence. Oh my lord, this gives me chills. It's the number 11 in this deck, and there is a passage in this deck that I've got to read for you as well. But before we get there, sweets, I feel like something is really, I sense like a transmutation of energy, but we gotta also cut something out. We gotta cut the fat, one of my guides is saying. I think that there is something harmful here in your love life, and it could even be the opinion of a relative. It could be somebody else's opinion of how you need to act or do what you need to do in order to get the love life that they think you deserve. But for others of you, it could actually be a romantic partner. The main theme here is we need to kind of trim the poison, or get rid of the poison, in order for us to be able to move forward. Oh my God, my phone has been vibrating. It's on silent, but that vibration made it seem like it's not even on silent at all. Oh my Lord, I apologize. Let me just get it out of here so it doesn't distract us. I think what's going on here for you is the goal is to get you somewhere else with sacred convergence. The goal is to get you in a situation where you are faced with a like-minded person, someone who is very well intended towards you, towards who you are currently. But in order to get there, we need to extract this venom. We need to get rid of this poison. So let's read this passage from the Sacred Convergence card in this Rumi Oracle deck, because there may be more clues there. I don't usually read from the guidebook. If you've been following me for a while, you would know that. But I've just lately with this deck, I want to honor it. It's a very different energy and it has like a spirit attached to it. So I want to be respectful of that spirit and make sure that I'm doing the cards justice. So Rome, this is the passage for this card. There's a few, but I'm just going to read the first one, okay, sweets? Roaming about town, the master was holding a light, saying, I am weary of the demons and the beasts. A human is what I am longing for. The human cannot be found. We have searched. What cannot be found is what I am longing for. Oh my days. Although poor and needy, I will not accept small pieces of ruby. The mine of the finest rubies is what I'm looking for. One hand holding a cup of wine, and the other the curls of the beloved. A dance like this in the middle of the circle is what I am longing for. So don't settle is the energy that this card is giving me. Do not settle. Make sure that you're not settling for the demons and the beasts, and find that person. Stay open to at least receive and have that right person come into your life. Oh my days. So y'all really need to cut the fat, because somebody's consuming the space of a sacred lover, of someone who is much better suited to you, and of someone who is going to actually give you the outcome in love that you are desiring. And I sense that for some of you, it's just the opinion of another person that is standing in the way of you having this wonderful partner. Let's get some tarot out here to clarify. Group 4, please, Spirit. What is happening next in love for group 4 over the next 7 days? What is going on in love for group 4? We have the 7 of Cups and the 2 of Torches. What is happening in the next 7 days in love for group 4, please, Spirit? What is happening in the next 7 days in love for group 4? We have the 9 of Swords coming out for you in the reverse as well. Wow, wow, wow. What's at our back of the deck? Let's have a look. We have the Knight in the reverse. Oh my days. So there is something that you've been avoiding that needs to be done in the next week. Even if it can't be finalized, it needs to be addressed. The Knight for me is a period of reflection, where you can really examine your feelings in order to understand how your feelings are trying to encourage you to move forward in life, whether you're sad and you need to get to the root of that sadness, whether you're hopeful and you need to understand that hope better to help you move forward, or whether you're feeling some type of way about something and you can't put your finger on it. For that card to be reversed, it's almost like you're denying yourself the chance to put your finger on it and to get to the bottom of that feeling. So the next 7 days is about understanding your situation better. With the Seven of Cups here, I feel that many of you are going to start this week feeling confused about your love life, feeling uncertain, and feeling as though you have options, but maybe you're just unsure of what options you should be taking. Some of you may feel like somebody is force feeding you an idea in love that you need to do, that you need to take. But I really feel, Group 4, like there is only one thing here that is actually good for you and that is actually going to be ticking the boxes when it comes to what you need, what you want. I think the confusion stems from external perceptions as well as interference here. Whether that interference is on a level of, okay, this person wants what I have, or whether that interference is on a level of there's just too much going on in this picture and only, one of them is actually what I want for myself. Everything else is trying to dissuade me and confuse me and overwhelm me and sabotage my journey. I think that you're going to start this week feeling quite overwhelmed and maybe just a little bit confused in general. Now, this transitions into this Two of Torches energy. So I think that in the middle of the week here, when it comes to love, your path is going to go from many different things that you could be doing to two specific directions. And this is where that passage is relevant again. The sacred convergence passage is relevant again, because remember that line that said something about beasts. I don't want demons and beasts, I want a human. So I do think that some of y'all are going to be tempted with an opportunity here that could be either familiar or could be making themselves available to you that isn't actually what you are wanting, what you are manifesting. And I think that you're going to have a choice here to continue journeying forward into something or to take an adjacent option. I think that the only discerning difference between these two options is that one is obviously going to be in the best interest of somebody else, while the other is in your best interest. One is coming from somebody else's desire to have you some type of way, while the other is coming from your desire to have what you want for yourself, this sacred union. And I think that the only way to really choose correctly is to choose for yourself, sweets. It's not about making somebody else happy. It's not about doing what they believe you should do. It's about understanding what you want and taking the choice that is more akin to what you want for yourself. I feel like whatever decision you make, the outcome cannot be given to you like that. It's about taking a journey forward from that moment towards the overall outcome. But your choice in this week is vital to help you move forward in the direction that you need to be in. It's like you're finally eliminating that poison and giving yourself the chance to grow in the direction of your sacred union, finding the right person by getting rid of the poison and freeing yourself from something that is causing you harm. So you have space to create something with that better person, with that more suitable person who isn't like this cancerous toxin. I want to say that with the Nine of Swords being reversed here, you're going to know that you made the right choice by the end of the week, but that doesn't mean it was an easy choice to make. For some of you, you still regret the way that things turned out, and you're still finding it hard to reconcile with some of the actions that were taken in that situation. I think that for some of you, it's not your own actions that you regret. It's the situation at large. You wish things could have been handled better. You wish it didn't get to this point where there was venom in the first place. And you wish you would have realized sooner so that you could have been on this path towards your sacred lover a lot quicker. I think that you have regrets, But at the end of the day, you're going to find a way to forgive yourself, to forgive the situation, and move forward. With the Nine of Swords reversed, you know the truth, you know what you need to do, and you're finding a way to move forward, really processing the situation for what it is and accepting the situation for what it is. Doesn't mean it was easy. I see you still having thoughts that are painful, but the root of you, like the core of you, I should say, is still feeling as though that was a decision, that was an outcome that needed to happen for your highest good and for the highest good of the situation. Now, the other thing with this Nine of Swords reversed is I want to say that after you make your decision, more information about the other option is going to reveal itself to you. I think that you'll end this week in love realizing that there was so much more to this picture that you weren't paying attention to. And unfortunately, this situation was almost taking advantage of you and your naivety in some ways, trying to keep you limited in a selfish way. It feels like something or someone really just wanted you for themselves and was keeping you bound without really giving you what you deserve, hoping that you could continue to be a part of their journey in their own selfish way. I see that moving forward, Group 4, you're going to learn a lot from this situation. This whole journey in this towards this venomous state is going to wizen you and make you more aware of other people's intentions and actions. In a bit of a negative way, you're going to go, wow, I can't believe how malicious some people can be. And then in another way, you're going to feel so grateful that you're aware that that kind of mentality is out there when it comes to love. Another part of you is going to wish that this information would have found you sooner, like I was saying before. So there's a lesson here that you're learning, and you're actually able to get yourself out of that situation before the worst case scenario happened. Some people didn't see the light when you did, and they stayed to the point where it was a lot harder for them to leave. It almost makes me think of being trapped in a situation with a really selfish person and then accidentally falling into a position where it's hard to separate because maybe you're married, maybe children are involved, maybe joint assets are involved, and so that separation becomes a lot more trickier. So even though you feel, goodness, I wish it would have happened sooner, you're still somewhat grateful that you awoke and that you saw the light before things got really bad. So let's close your reading now by getting some advice for you. Group 4, please, Spirit. What is the advice for them when it comes to love over the next 7 days? What is the advice for Group 4? Oh my good Lord. I knew this card was going to come out. I had a vision of it at the start of the week. I just didn't know whose group it was going to come out for. So that is the commitment card, the number 36, Group 4. My Lord, your advice here is to see your commitment, your loyalty as a strength, and to recognize it when it's in front of you. And if it's not in front of you, you need to recognize it when it's missing as well. I think that for y'all, you're on this journey towards finding a counterpart, someone who is very balanced in the ways that you are, someone who is reciprocal, someone who is complementary, someone who can potentially balance out your personality with dual traits while also having shared interests, shared values, shared opinions. And I think that your advice is to recognize that desire, that commitment that you are wanting, and to recognize where it is lacking and where it may be lying. Some of you may have the person in your life who you want commitment from, but they're not currently a strong fixture in your life due to this poison that needs to be extracted. And like I was saying at the beginning, this poison could be a person, a current relationship, or it could just be an opinion, an idea, a behavior, it feels imposing and it feels dangerous. We can't move forward towards the commitment that we want, that we deserve, without extracting the poison first. So your advice is that whatever you choose to do here with this Two of Torches, it has to be a decision that is in your highest, that is your best intention, and it has to be a decision that you can commit yourself to for most of you for the rest of your life. I feel like the road that you're on moving forward is a long one, sweets. It's going to be a real journey, but you're going to know when from the get-go that you made the right decision, if that makes sense, with the Two of Torches, because there's going to be a sense of relief in letting go of the venomous side of this equation. Closing that door should feel like a breath of fresh air, because now I can get that toxin out of my life. So I want you to know that the road ahead towards the relationship that you want isn't going to be found within the next 7 days, but you're going to be on the right road by the end of the week. You're going to know that you're one step closer to the commitment that you deserve by eliminating something, getting something out, the confusion of a current situation by the end of this week. So your advice here is to commit yourself to the right journey. Understand that it's going to take time, but understand that a huge step forward was finding that right path in the first place and committing yourself to the right path by closing that one door and extracting that venom in the first place as well, group 4. So I hope that was helpful for you, sweets. You're a very specific message. So I do hope that this reading found you at the right time and that it was a helpful message to hear, maybe one that confirmed a lot of things that you already suspected, as well as offered you support and just clarity of how this situation is going to play out. I'm going to send you so much love and light, group 4, on the road ahead. You just need to know that this is for your highest good. As long as you're acting in a way where you're ensuring your success, not at the detriment of others, then you're going to be successful freeing yourself from the situation that was definitely taking advantage of you. I want to thank you for your support, group 4, and I also want to thank our spiritual teams, angels, ancestors, and guides for helping me channel these messages and for keeping me safe while doing so. Please look after your beautiful selves, group 4. Like I said, sending you so much love and light, and I shall connect with you very, very soon. Bye. Hi, group 1, and welcome to your finances next 7-day reading. It's so lovely to have you here, group 1. If you chose the castle card, excuse my finger, I just lit some candles so my nail is a little burnt. But if you chose this castle card, then this is going to be your reading, so welcome. This is technically a group 1 reading, focusing on your finances over the next 7 days. And as you can see, group 1, I've already selected another oracle card for you. I'm using a card from a new deck today. This is the number 31 luck card in this deck, called the Lime/Citrus, and I can't pronounce that word, but we're going to say it's the Lucky Lime card. Now, this deck is new, so I've got it linked down below if it's something that you like. I'm using some new oracle decks today that I managed to pick up from my local crystal store. Love it. Group 1. Honestly, sweets, if you chose this castle card, what I can tell you is that in the next 7 days, your finances are going to be showing healthy, steady improvement. I want you to know that your path seems to be one that is going to be quite lavish, or a path where you can indulge. With the castle here, there is a sense of accomplishment, and also just this feeling of like You've been working hard. When I think of a castle, I don't think of something that you can create in 7 days. It's something that takes time, and people, watch it being built, much like any house or large structure. There's got to be the foundation stage, you've got to start putting in the supporting beams, the frame of the structure, and then we start to make it look pretty. And people are usually able to see the process happen. You don't just sort of do these things overnight. So I want to say that when it comes to your finances, there's going to be positive signs that you are on the right track when it comes to future investments and also previous decisions that you've made to help set you up and be in a better position currently. Spirit is saying that if you're feeling stuck in your finances, if you're feeling concerned and you're really trying to get to that castle stage where you're worried about what do I do, what path do I take, just know the wheel is turning in your favor. There was a message with this card that I do want to read for you. It was in the Oracle book, like leaflet, the guidebook, I guess you would say. So the main thing that stuck out for me was you may find yourself right in the middle of a situation at present or something that is stuck in circles. This could be caused by overreactions or too much interference. It's time to let things progress at their own pace. Limes bring luck with them, so take a chance and be ready for the ups and downs this energy brings. But know that time is on your side. Don't overplan and be open to letting complexities unravel on their own. So the thing about your situation, group one, is when it comes to finances, if you are feeling like things are becoming quite complicated and difficult, much like this Capricorn energy could suggest, then just know that it's not the time to overplan and overstructure the situation. Try to let things unfold and unravel as they are intended to. It feels like a lot of the foreground, should we say that? A lot of like the effort was done before, and all you need to do now is let the universe work with you in this situation. I'm going to pull some tarot out now so we can get a bit more specific and really delve to the core of this energy. So group one, please, Spirit, what's happening in their finances over the next 7 days? Ooh, we got the universe coming out in the reverse position. Hello. Are we going to focus? Ooh, they're naked. My apologies. It's not that kind of reading. Group one, please, Spirit. What is happening over the next 7 days when it comes to their finances? We have the Princess of Swords now. Curiosity. Okay, excuse me, are we going to focus? There we go. Wow. You're learning something new. Information. I want to say that helpful information's coming in a way where it's not something you were privy to before. Maybe you overlooked it before. What's going on here? You've got all these pages hanging around you when it comes to your finances, younger energies, apprentices potentially, people who want to learn your ways, learn your skills. I'm going to zoom in, okay, so we can actually see what's going on. I like your energy. It's curious, it's a little bit naive, but it's workable. It feels like you're in an ambitious energy when it comes to your career. Oh, look at your bottom deck energy. Queen of Torches, you're manifesting something right now in your finances. I want to say that this has to do with being ambitious, but this means that you also don't want to make unnecessary risks. Some of y'all are trying to figure out how to work smarter. I think that in the next 7 days, it's important that you don't rush any heavy decision making, okay? Try not to sort of solidify. I would really encourage you not to rush anything like a loan situation. I feel like we need more information before we commit ourselves to a major investment or to a major financial decision. And the main reason is there seems to be a better way to do it so that we're more proud of the outcome and so that we're feeling like it's a better investment in the long term. Your finances seem to be at a turning point where we need to kind of twist the odds in our favor. And this is where the universe is stepping up with you because of this luck card. The universe wants to help you do this. But I do think with all this green here, I'm actually going to zoom out so we can actually see that green. That green is no coincidence. The universe is really trying to work with you here to make sure that your situation actually improves. Even if you consider yourself to be doing fairly well financially, I see growth here, especially with these 2 pages. I want to say that in the next 7 days, something's not necessarily working out the way that we want it to, but we can appreciate that this is not a situation we want to rush either. And we want to take our time before we figure out how we're going to fix this situation, because you're manifesting and you're trying to attract a very favorable outcome. So I see you looking for more information first with this Princess of Swords. I see you trying to figure out if it's a clerical issue for some of you. Maybe that person just didn't get your email. That's why they didn't get back to you in time. Maybe there's one more box that you should have ticked on that application form. Maybe it's just because right now, there's just one little issue with some sort of clerical issue that you can fix. And then when you kind of tick that off and you're like, no, it wasn't that, I see you then investigating your options when it comes to setting up your finances for the future. Well, what could I do? What are my options here? And I see this is where you're looking at your situation still quite logically. You're looking at the problem and you want a solution. So it's a very logical, here's the issue, where's the solution? What are my options for the solution? This gets you so far. I think that this helps you communicate with the right resources. It helps you understand that this is a learning situation. It's not a worst case situation. And it helps you stay open-minded to the process moving forward when it comes to your finances. But I want to say it's not really until the end of the week here with the Princess of Torches that you start to think outside of the box more. Your curiosity is piqued here with the Princess of Swords. You're thinking of solutions, but it feels like at the end of the week, your creative flair becomes activated. And I want to clarify, how does that happen, Spirit? The Emperor reverse, something isn't going your way and it feels like it's starting to get out of your control. So you want to measure the risk better. You want to be more creative with the solutions as well. And you start to feel frustrated by the answers you're getting because you're asking yourself, is this really my only options? Are these really my only choices when it comes to this financial issue that I'm facing? I have big dreams. I have high ambitions. There must be another way around this. So I see you finishing the 7 days really wanting to explore every possibility in a more adventurous and a more sort of out of the box way. An example that I could give you, group 1, is that, say the issue is you really wanted to have you want to start building a credit history. Let's say it's that you've recently graduated, you want to build a credit history, you're still considered to be quite young in terms of financial institutions, so there's only a few options that you are comfortable with taking. Maybe you're looking into credit cards. A credit card could be useful, but I don't want to get myself into debt. So what do? Let's have a look at what the credit card rates are with my current bank. Oh my gosh, they're so high. That's ridiculous. I'm not paying that. Let's explore what the rates are with other banks. I'm doing this because I want to build my credit history. I don't want to get myself into debt. I'm just going to use it and make sure I can pay it off within the time frame that is required. But still, I think you're not getting exactly the answers that you need. So by looking into credit cards, you also find out that there are other options and other ways to manage cash and funds. And maybe instead you're looking more at overdrafts instead of a credit card, or short-term loans. And then you become aware of loan sharks as well. And well, that interest rate isn't any good, so why would I do that? Maybe I'm going to go back to credit cards. Well, no, I don't like credit cards or loans or overdrafts. What else is out there? Maybe I'll use my money in this way instead. Whatever it is, it's like the more you research, the more you realize is out there, and the more passionate you become about the path that you're headed on. And you start to feel very positive about a positive outcome. If that, you feel very optimistic about a positive outcome, it kind of feels like this delay, this setback needed to happen in order for you to find this alternate solution that is quite out of the box, quite different, and yet more, has more opportunity for you to grow. I want to say, group one, that your finances are asking you to be flexible. Your financial situation in the next 7 days is really opening up new avenues, and it's important that you don't lock yourself into anything quite serious too soon. It's important that you do definitely read the fine print, ask questions. This curious energy is seemingly your biggest asset when it comes to your finances. And I see that professionals are around you, but they're not kind of your main reason for doing anything. It's like this idea of like getting consultancies, but not kind of feeling pressured to follow through with what they tell you to do. It's like, I just want to know about this, without having to do exactly what you tell me I should do. So you end up with this free spirited energy of feeling quite optimistic, quite informed, but still sort of thirsty for more information. And I want to say that many of you, this is going to lead to new passions and a new interest when it comes to your finances. It's going to show you ways that you can maximize your money, your income, and potentially create a new revenue stream. It almost looks like you're wanting a loan at the start of the week. By the end of the week, you're creating a new income, a new stream, and you're thinking of ways to use your interest to get you money, your newfound interest. So it's a beautiful week for you when it comes to finances. It seems to really turn in your favor. I just want to get an oracle card to see if there's any advice that you need. Oh my God, I thought that was on no vibration mode. What do you call it? Just like fully silent mode, but apparently not. I apologize, you guys. I don't know how much you hear when it vibrates, but it always like makes me jump. So I just feel like I need to like address that elephant in the room. Spirit, what is the advice for group one when it comes to their finances and career over the next week, the next 7 days? What is their main advice here? I'm feeling very good about y'all. Oh, we have rescue. Yes, don't give up. If there is an issue, you need to pay attention to it. You know what I'm really feeling drawn to most on this card? The smoke, which is rainbow, by the way, and this telescope, if it will focus. You gonna focus? Maybe. I feel like this is you, sweets, investigating, looking at the fine print, reading between the lines, observing the issue in depth so that you are aware of the many solutions available to you. This curiosity is literally your biggest asset. It's about problem solving, solution seeking. But it's more than that. You start off in a black and white way, like, oh God, I'm overdrawn again on my account. What can I do to fix this so I don't pay 15% interest every time? Oh wow, I can apply for an overdraft and I'll only have to pay 4% interest. Oh my gosh. Well, that's a cool solution, but I'd rather not be overdrawn at all. What else is there? Oh wow, look at this. And oh wow, why does nobody know this? More people should know this. You know what? I'm going to start a consultancy business and start informing people that there are these little schemes and grants and little hacks with the banks that you can use to ensure that you're not getting yourself in unnecessary debt. And who knew I would be this successful at it? Looks like a lot of people don't know how to manage their daily funds. So it really seems like you managed to turn this problem into a way for you to help others. You start by just trying to help yourself, and then all of a sudden you're creating a new avenue of passion that I see the goal is to monetize in the future. And it could just start off as like a little thing that you're doing for family, and as a whole you're all saving money, and that's an income enough. Whereas for others, I think that this leads you to find a new hobby that you can start charging for, a service that you could start charging for. So while I don't see you creating a whole business this week, I see the fire being lit, and I definitely see that your advice is to stay aware of the problem, investigate, make sure that you're reading between the lines, you're looking at the fine print, and you are addressing issues as they arise to investigate those issues and investigate possible solutions. So group one, that's what I'm seeing for you when it comes to your finances. If you feel you have messages in other groups, you're welcome to go back to the timestamps. You may want to go have a look at the love section, or you may want to look at a different financial group instead and see what else you can expect in the next 7 days. I do want to remind you that these are general readings and they should not substitute any legal or professional advice, so do seek professional support where necessary. I want to thank you for all of your support over here on YouTube, and I want to thank our spiritual teams, angels, ancestors, and guides for helping me channel these messages, and I shall see you in another video. Bye! Hi group 2 and welcome. If you chose this Gnosis card over here, then this is going to be your reading. We're looking at your finances over the next 7 days. So if you accidentally picked the wrong group, now's your chance to go back to the timestamps and click on the right timestamp. So group 2, just to confirm, we're looking at your finances over the next 7 days. Now, if you chose this Gnosis card, I feel like you're coming into a state of awareness about the chances or the different opportunities you have out there. At this point in time, based on your oracle cards, I don't see you taking any drastic action, but I see you stewing on information, processing it, analyzing it, understanding it, trying to understand how it makes you feel. Someone may be telling you what they are doing, and it's piquing your curiosity. You're kind of like, I didn't know you could do that. What's that like? What does that look like? How do you get into that? How much does it pay you? What's their financial situation like? What are the benefits here? Like, what made you switch careers? It feels like you're learning something that is making you kind of want to step back and look at the bigger picture with your finances, your career especially. If you haven't been working for a while, I feel like someone's going to tell you what they're doing, and it's making you wonder if that's something that you could also do, especially if you're not working because of a health reason or because you're caring for somebody else. It feels like if you fall into that small subgroup, this information that's reaching you is kind of showing you the different opportunities to earn income that are out there, or the different jobs that you can do that still fit in certain situations and that apply to your specific situation. Gnosis is kind of about knowing the truth from a bigger perspective, and this is eventually going to give you the chance to start a new cycle if you want it to, but I don't see that cycle starting in the next 7 days. The main change here, or the main information that I'm getting about your financial situation, is that you need to process this information, do your own research, and see how it makes you feel. I also think that you are either a busy person or that your finances aren't always something that's like right here. It's something that you are just having to juggle with other responsibilities or other focuses right now. Secondly, we have this longevity card from one of my newer oracle decks. So I've got it linked in the description box. Love this deck. I just got it from a local crystal shop. So I don't know where you would find it online, but it should be there somewhere, probably Amazon or something. There's a passage in the guidebook that I want to read you for this card, but longevity is actually a card associated with this chrysanthemum plant. I think they actually put the species next to it, which I thought was amazing. You can tell they're a gardener. Love it. They got a green thumb, all right. And longevity or chrysanthemum in this deck is associated with the air element, but it also has the Scorpio sign up here. And what do we know about Scorpio? Well, it's a water sign that is associated with its old ruler used to be Mars, but its new ruler is the planet Pluto. So we've got some fire, we've got some water, and we have some air here. Now, Scorpio is giving me transformative vibes, but it's also telling me with the air sign being so prominent that we're not about to start something if we're not comfortable with the transformation it could give us. I feel that when it comes to your finances, group 2, any transformation that is likely to happen to you will happen by your own hand. At this point in time, I feel like you're not trying to rock the boat unnecessarily and put yourself into a risky situation with your finances. So you're just in like this casual, whatever information comes my way, maybe I'll consider it energy. Now, chrysanthemum is the card of longevity. So I feel like this information that's hitting you, you're weighing it up in the way of how could this help me in the long term? How could this support me in the long term? I think that's the main question that you're asking yourself when any new information comes your way about career opportunities or financial changes. You're trying to figure out whether those moves would be in your best interest by means of longevity. So I'm going to put those cards to the side. I want to read that excerpt for you real quick, and then we'll get some tarot out. So let me hold this close to you actually while I'm reading the passage. It's not going to be very long, just quick, but there may be messages in this passage that are specifically helpful for you. So group 2, a phase in which trust, completion, a sense of belonging, and peace has been reached is signified by the appearance of chrysanthemums. Deeper intimacy in relationships is highlighted, and you may want to explore this area of your life as a long-term commitment needs attention. A cycle of learning is coming to an end, and you now have all the facts you require. Creative blocks, melancholy, and weak boundaries are challenges. So I do sense you wanting to take some time to deliberate your options, because it feels like the main question mark is how, or why. Why would I do this? How difficult is it going to be? How long will it take? How much will it pay off in the long run? I see you being very contemplative here about your future and about committing yourself to something that's going to take a lot of time. Like, I feel like either you want that long-term contract at your next employer, or you're being very hesitant about being so committal towards a long-term opportunity because you want to make sure that it's going to be in your best interest. You want to make sure that you're ready for that and that you have the ability to commit yourself to something like that. So let's get some tarot out here and we'll figure this out a little bit more, get a better understanding of what you can expect in the next 7 days. Group 2, please, Spirit. And what can they expect in the next 7 days when it comes to their finances for Group 2? We have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. Something might be coming out of our account that makes us wonder how to earn more money quick. Listen, if that isn't me, every electricity bill, oh my days. Especially in summer here, everybody has air conditioners. It's very similar to the heat in New York, I think. So Group 2, please, Spirit, what else can they expect over the next 7 days when it comes to their finances? We also have the Two of Torches for you in the upright. I actually love this energy for you. This confirms to me that pathways are opening up for you. You have options. You've got a choice to make too, but I don't see you needing to rush this. One more card for Group 2. What else can they expect over the next 7 days when it comes to their finances? Groupus Tupus, please, Spirit. Oh, we got 2 more chords. Oh yeah, here it is, that commitment. We have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse and the Hierophant in the upright. Okay, listen, I wasn't here for 4 cards, but I guess you just run the show, Group 2. Let me zoom in a little bit and we'll be able to look at these a little closer. Goodness. Gnosis here peeking out. This information is so helpful for you, but I do see you waiting. You're not going to make a decision in the next 7 days, but you're going to feel a little bit more certain about what you want to do. At the back of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups, so your feelings are everything. You could be a Scorpio, or you could have water placements, but I see that your feelings are very important to you, and how these opportunities make you feel are very important to you. You have your own fears, and I think that these fears are linked to maybe your responsibilities, especially if you are a parent, or what other people are going to, how it's going to impact your relationships, maybe, especially if this is a career change that requires moving. I think you're hesitant to leave your loved ones behind. But in the next 7 days, you're going to be looking at your situation from a very practical perspective. Well, this is what I want, but I don't have enough. And that's what's starting you on this path of looking at longevity and long-term options, more financially secure options that can actually sustain your lifestyle. I see you guys wanting to come out of a frugal energy where you're wanting to be more financially stable and you're wanting to expand your financial options. For some of you, you are facing a very practical problem with your finances at the start of the week. It could be as simple as a bill comes in and it's not what you're expecting, and now all of a sudden, money's going to be really tight, or you're actually in debt. And you need to figure out a way to long-term fix this issue as well as immediately fix this issue. I think that this unexpected payment, or this realization of my money isn't able to give me what I want, whether it's about funding my lifestyle or giving me the future that I want, this is what leads us to exploring our options. And with the Two of Torches here, you're torn between two very obvious pathways. I think that with the Two of Torches, it's never about you open this door and the answer's right there. You open that door and the answer's right there. It usually implies that the decision is about energetically focusing on one avenue, creating a plan, and committing ourselves to a journey forward in that plan. It's never about, I need to make my mind up because the outcome is right here, right now, putting pressure on me. It's usually about allocating ourselves enough energy to plan for something very specific, strategize and focus on something specific. But you've got two different pathways here that you're trying to weigh up. And it feels like one path could involve you going into debt or needing to repay something first. With the Six of Pentacles reversed, it kind of feels like you may need to settle for a lesser situation, a lesser circumstance that's like, it's kind of like a less financially, what's the word? It's like a less financially abundant situation temporarily in order to secure that long-term security. It's kind of like going from a casual worker in Australia to a full-time worker. Casual workers, especially in retail and hospitality, they get a lot of penalty rates on holidays, on weekends, on evenings, in night shifts, overnight shifts. There's a lot of penalty rates, and it pays to be a casual worker in the retail industry. But going to full time gives you more security. You have annual leave, you have sick leave, you can take rostered time off, and you know how many hours a week you're going to get. But you don't get that casual loading fee that a casual worker will get. And you usually, because your hours are set, you may not pick up those public holidays or those weekend shifts where a casual worker would. So it feels like that kind of situation where there's a compromise here to incur either a debt or a loan, or you're settling for a situation that pays a little bit less than what you were wanting or than what you were used to, but at least you've secured long-term employment for the next 2 years. You managed to sign a 24-month contract. That's what it kind of feels like. The other situation that I'm feeling for you is that you have this ambitious energy within you that wants to kind of be a bit spontaneous and do things differently to how you were doing, because clearly what you were doing before with your finances and with your career wasn't really helping. It wasn't paying, and it wasn't really ticking the boxes when it comes to excitement. It wasn't something that you're happy about doing for work or for money. So I feel like you're trying to figure out whether in the next week you are ready to take on a challenge or whether you need to play it safe when it comes to your finances. And I want to say, group 2, that for the next 7 days, I see you playing it safe. But I see many of you over the next couple of months wanting something more and taking steps towards more opportunities. And it feels like this isn't the financially stable thing to do, but it feels like this is more than creating financial stability for some of you. You more so just want excitement. So your group is kind of torn. There's one half of you that the next 7 days is about setting yourself up to get that good credit score, and make sure that you're all set for that big loan that you want to take out in the future, to ensure that you are a reliable person to lend money to. And then there's that other group that has this pressure of being more financially stable, but you actually want more adventure in your life. So you're kind of just dealing with the financially stable option for now until it's more available for you, until a more sort of exciting role or position is available for you when it comes to work. I see that right now you don't want to rush. You're still in your feels about this choice. You're trying to weigh it up in your heart. You're trying to examine your fears, because there are a lot of fears about this and how you're going to make it work, and how, first of all, you're going to get that bill paid on time. And I think that you're very apprehensive about accepting a lesser pay or putting yourself into a debt again. Many of you are trying to avoid that situation. But I do think that if you are at a point where you need to take out money and take out a loan, you will find a fair deal if you ask for the right advice from the right people. There's honesty needed here, and seeking advice from the right professional will get you the right loan that fits you. It's all about seeing the bigger picture and asking the right questions to get the right answers. So make sure you're being honest about your situation, and make sure you're seeking that professional advice if you do need to get a loan in the next 7 days. I really think with that Hierophant that it will work out, but I think that you need to make sure you're not resorting to sneaky business is what I want to tell you. The Hierophant upright tells me you're going to do the right thing, but when you're in that situation where you need money desperately within 7 days, there are people who can get it to you, but the premiums is what you got to look out for. What do they want in return? Just be very careful. So let's get some advice for you. Group 2, what is happening for them when it comes to their finances? We have education. Yeah, Spirit is saying your biggest advice here is to educate yourself. Ask questions. Don't rush this process. Make sure you feel comfortable about any big decision you're making with your finances. Make sure you are staying educated on the topic. It is your financial situation. Regardless of how many degrees or letters somebody has after their name, they do not walk in your shoes. So if you need to get a second opinion, get a second opinion. Ensure you are well educated and you have a good idea of your options before you make a big decision. Sometimes it's not just about the facts, it's about educating yourself on your own fears as well, your own feelings, and that's something a professional cannot help you with. I see that you really do need time to weigh this up. Even though you feel pressured to remedy your financial situation immediately, ensure that you're doing what is in your best interest and that you're not accidentally taking on too much, biting off more than you can chew right now by rushing this process and settling for the immediate solution. So group 2, that's what I'm seeing for you when it comes to your finances in the next 7 days. I hope this reading was helpful for you. It is a general reading, so if you feel that you have messages in other groups, you're welcome to go back to the timestamps and select a different group. I want to say take what resonates, group 2, and do not let the rest take from you. Good luck for the next 7 days. Ensure that you do seek professional, legal, or financial advice where necessary, And I want to thank you for all of your support over here on YouTube. I also want to thank our spiritual teams, angels, ancestors, and guides for helping me channel these messages and for keeping me safe while doing so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I shall see you in another video. Bye. Hi Group 3, and welcome to your finances, how will I word this? The next 7 days with your finances reading. Anyway, I want to make sure that you clicked on the right timestamp. So if you chose this Queen card or the Queen card, we're asking Spirit for information about your finances for the next 7 days. So if that's not the group that you were meant to click, make sure you go back now and click on the right timestamp just in case. So group 3, I'm going to confirm one more time, we're looking at your finances for the next 7 days. And this Queen card is out here telling us about your finances with the Trust card from my new Oracle deck. There is an excerpt of from the guidebook that I want to read with this card that will give us more information about your finances. But before we get there, I want to talk a little bit more about this Queen. So sweets, the main message that I'm getting for you, Group 3, is that some people are a little bit jealous of your financial situation. I think that you're doing quite well for yourself, and the people around you are noticing that. I think that some people want what you have, and I think that even if you believe you don't have a lot, you're in a position here to be taken advantage of in some ways. In the sense of, I see some people approaching you, for loans or wanting something, borrowing something, asking for something. And I think that the main goal for you is to maintain the path that you're on and ensure that whatever you give others, it's not putting you out of your safe position here. I think that for the next 7 days, you've got to kind of protect your financial situation and not stray from the path that you've made for yourself, because I do detect external interference with your finances, and it feels like we need to remind ourselves of the lifestyle that we want or the future that we want and not sway from that path. I think with the Queen here, many of you are needing to protect your own little kingdom, but I also think that it's not exactly built on the most solid foundations, in the sense of, this makes me think that you're still creating something, you're still manifesting something, you're still trying to gain more money in some ways. So you want to make sure, if you got a long-term plan here, that you don't accidentally blow that budget in the next 7 days by getting too addicted to that bougie lifestyle. You know, make sure you're being realistic with your finances here and you're protecting them from external interference. This Trust card is what really helped me figure out this energy for you, because I think that with this card coming out, you need to stay focused on a financial goal that you've already set for yourself, but I do see distractions for you in the next 7 days. This card is the number 21. We have Scorpio here. We have this eye. We have the fire element. We have trust. And the plant on this card is basil, with the species name right there next to it as well. I'm like, listen, I love plants, but I'm not at this level where I know the species name. So I have mad respect for people who can just rattle that Latin off like it's their second language. So what I can see here with trust is that you need to stay focused on the path that you're currently on. You're being tested in the next 7 days. And I do think that you know better, sweets. I'm not saying you got to be out here like holding the ground as on walking on a very straight, narrow line all the time. We naturally slip up. We naturally need to spend a bit more money this week than that week because little things do pop up. I think that it's just about staying back on track and getting focused again on your financial goals. I see for many of you with this number 21 that you will have a turning point moment where something's going to happen, and it's very much about your reaction to that situation. What are you going to do to overcome that problem, or to ensure that whatever your reaction is, it's moving in the right direction. Your reaction is everything here. So let's get that excerpt out, shall we? And I'll tell you what I was reading and what I was picking up on, because this excerpt really made me think that somebody's trying to come out and just get on your little nest egg that you've been cultivating, whether it's your savings fund or whether it's just an extra $20 that you do need for yourself that they think they would be better off with. So here's the little excerpt for this Basil card. Basil will indicate energies surrounding trust and the workings of relationships. Consideration and putting more into gaining harmonious ground are required, and although this does include romance, Basil is referencing any relationship or connection. Education and travel are all areas that are shining with positive vibes at the moment, but be wary of being in situations or relationships that you know are not good for you. So I do think that we need to be very wide-eyed and perceptive of the facts of the information that we're seeing, and try not to get blindsided by other people's perceptions of what's going on. You're quite a switched on person, especially with the Queen coming out, so don't fall for anybody's little antics. Let's get some tarot out here to help us have a better look at the next 7 days when it comes to your finances. Group 2, please, Spirit. What can you tell us about their finances? That was quick. We have the Eight of Torches in the reverse position. What can you tell us about Group 2's finances over the next 7 days, spirits? Spirits. Okay, we got more than one here now. What's going on? Three of Torches reversed. Wow. I keep hearing don't do it, and delays just came up with these two cards. What else, Spirit? What can you tell us about the next 7 days for Group 3 over their finances, in terms of their finances, I should say? Justice. Wow, so the odds are tipped to be in your favor. Justice is an air energy, and I was picking up on some airy vibes with y'all, a little bit of like Libra energy, needing to kind of look at that bigger perspective in order to, I'm zooming in so you can see the tarot, but I might leave it a little bit out so you can see the other cards. I was only showing the tarot cards for the other groups, but it makes sense that you see the oracle too. Bottom deck energy is the Ace of Swords reverse. So Group 3, your finances over the next 7 days, you're going to do something's going to happen to you that could be regretful. I think that there are definitely delays. I see stagnation only because it feels like it's very much about how you react to the situation, and some of you are going to do things that you're going to regret. I see some hasty decisions here, some impulsive actions with the Eight of Torches, and actually doing something that you think may remedy the situation, but it only seems to cause further feelings of, I'm feeling guilt, and also, oh my gosh, this is getting worse. It becomes a bit more overwhelming. So I want to say that your finances in the next 7 days, there's jealousy around you. For some of you, it doesn't actually affect you. It's more that people are envious of your position in life. And it's just a sort of heavy cloak that makes it uncomfortable to be around some people. You don't really want to conversate with so-and-so because every time they look at you, you get that little bit of green in their eyes and it's uncomfortable. But for others of you, I do think that someone's going to move towards you with an impulsive, hasty energy, and it's going to put you in a position where you have to decide whether you're going to help them out or whether you're going to keep your eggs in one basket and not choose to share your breakfast with them. I feel like someone wants to learn from you, and I'm not really picking up on it being the kind of loan that really breaks your back, but it feels like a regrettable action that you wish you didn't take. Instead of giving them $20, maybe you could have said, hey, why do you keep needing to ask me for a loan? What's the issue here? What's the big problem? Because I can't keep giving you $20 every week. Like, why do you always come back? What's the issue here? It makes you wish that you had explored your options first and that you would have asked for the bigger picture first. Whatever happens here at the start of the week, it's frustrating for you. You don't feel right about it, and it's asking for you to look at things further and to trust that the situation, especially if it's happening again and again, is an issue that needs to be resolved on a more of a long-term idea. And it seems to be impacting you and a relationship that you have as well. Now, in the middle of the week here with the Three of Torches reversed, you have plans, you have goals, but you're not hitting them. And I want to say with the Three of Torches reversed, this delay is starting to impact another area of your life. Either you're not able to do something that you were planning to do, and it's making you feel frustrated about this other person and their expectations of you, or you're in a situation where you need to be patient and wait for the outcome to be delivered, full stop. I think that some of you are trying to force something to happen that isn't ready to happen yet when it comes to your finances, while others of you are facing the wrong direction and you need to turn around and feed your energy into a more healthy outlet, something that is giving as much as it is taking. I think that you need more ways of expressing yourself this week coming with your finances, because we've got all this built up frustrated energy, and it's leading you to kind of question your path and question everything that you're doing, when actually, especially if this is a repeating cycle, you need to be examining your relationships and the way that you are behaving on an ongoing basis towards other people and towards your expenses as well. I think with this week ending with Justice Group 3, a fair outcome will be delivered, but it doesn't come without the weight of justice. It feels like it's fair, it could be worse, but it's not exactly wonderful either. In your situation, I do think that you'll know more by the end of the 7-day period. But I also think that you're not happy with the outcome either. So to put this into context, just to help you understand these themes, obviously this is going to make more sense to you than me, but a scenario that I'm actually seeing is that, say you start this week and you have your own project going on, you've got your main source of income, and then your project is that you enjoy sewing, and you put $100 aside to buy a sewing machine and to replace your what am I looking for, sewing bobbins, and to make sure that you have enough thread and needles ready, and to make sure that your hobby, your own interest is taken care of. And it's your hobby, it's your interest, doesn't need to make sense to anybody else, but it's important to you. Next thing you know, your favorite sibling gives you that call on payday, and turns out they're out of pocket again. They need financial support. You're not expecting it. They're putting pressure on you. You feel like you need to give them an answer right there and then on the phone. You know you should say no, but for some reason you say yes, and you instantly regret it. Now you don't have enough money to sustain your hobby. Was it a priority to your sibling? No. Was it important to you? Yes. Do you feel frustrated? Yes. Do you feel like they only come to you? Yes. And then the tension kind of builds. And in the middle of the week, you feel like you just can't let this go. You feel like it's going to continue to be an issue unless you address it. And you feel like it's actually causing strain on other areas of your life, because now that tension that you have towards that sibling is coming out in your work, and it's affecting your performance at work. Or it's coming out in your romantic relationship and it's affecting your partnership with that person. So you realize you have to, by the end of that week, have this conversation with this person. Listen, what's going on? Why does this happen week after week? It's very difficult for me to talk to you about this, but I can't keep supporting you. We need to figure out a better solution ongoing. Do you need a job? Do you need support looking for new work? Do you need help going to the bank and declaring financial hardship? What is going on? Does somebody owe you money? Do you need help getting your money back so you stop borrowing mine? What's happening? I see that it's not easy, because sometimes justice isn't, but it is what is fair. So you end this week feeling like you got the outcome you need and maybe the outcome you deserve, but it's not exactly a situation you would go into again. It's not something that you would happily do again. It's a lesson and it was learned and you're glad it's done and dusted. So that's really what I'm seeing when it comes to your finances, sweet. Legal issues could be a part of this as well. Personal grievances could be a part of this. But I see that the overall decision is something that you almost feel is out of your hands. Like it's gotten to a point where you feel it just needs to be dealt with on a grander scale, on a more just scale. So I do feel like you got some weight to pull here in this situation, being the queen here, and someone who has this basil energy. You have a high level of like weight to pull in the situation. I feel like you are the respected person in the situation, and I do think that the goal of the next week with your finances is to ensure that you're breaking away from those habits, those behaviors, those relationships, or that you're at least resetting them to be more beneficial ongoing. For some of you, if it doesn't resonate as being a family member or just a person who would reach out to you for a loan, it feels like it's more of an expenses issue and you're kind of overspending what you actually have. So you're entering a better agreement to be able to cull some of your expenses and focus them into a more manageable way, if that makes sense. This is a very last minute side note. It's not going to apply to all of you, obviously, but I do sense with the 8 of torches, the 3 of torches, we're kind of noticing our bank getting drained, and we're finally getting to the root of it and realizing, oh my gosh, there's a contract that I had back in July that I didn't cancel. I never go to that gym anymore. Why are they? No wonder I've been short on money every fortnight. So it could be as simple as that for some of you as well. Let's get some advice for you, group 3. What is the advice for them over the next 7 days, Spirit? And it's because you didn't pay attention sooner for some of you that it's getting to this point. Ooh, what is the advice for group 3 when it comes to their finances, Spirit? Follow the leader. Yeah, I do think that you have people watching you. I think that some people definitely want what you have, but I also think that you're not alone in this. So your advice is to reach out to people who have been in similar situations, potentially getting support and finding solutions if this is an issue with repeating old cycles of behavior. The other thing with this follow the leader business is I do think that as you move forward, the level of responsibility for you when it comes to your finances is going to increase. So I do think that it might be time to start delegating, to getting more support with your finances. Maybe it's time to get an accountant on board to track your expenses. Maybe it's time to really make sure you know what is being taken out of your account on a daily basis rather than just checking every now and then. I think that this is about following a process where you are able to delegate and not have to micromanage every aspect of your finances moving forward. When it comes to career, I feel that for some of you, this follow the leader is you setting yourself up to be financially independent, be in a position to be your own boss essentially, and to be a leader in your own field as well. Pioneer is what I'm feeling. For some of you, your finances are calling for you to take responsibility here and to ensure that your relationships aren't merging with business and vice versa in an unhealthy way. I do think that this follow the leader is about kind of revising something, ensuring that it's actually working and that it's growing with you. It could be something that you haven't looked at for a while. I think it needs to be revised and a blank slate needs to be created in order for you to move forward and maximize your opportunities. So group 3, you're an interesting group. Finance readings are very different for me. So if this message didn't completely resonate, you're welcome to check the other groups to see if you have messages there. Remember, it is a general reading, so just take what resonates and please don't let the rest take from you. Thank you so much for all of your support, group 3. I want to thank our spiritual teams as well for supporting me and helping me channel these messages, and I shall connect with you in another video. Bye! Hi Group 4, and welcome to your next 7 days reading, focusing specifically on your finances. Group 4, if you chose this vow card, then this is going to be your finance reading, looking at your finances for the next 7 days. I keep saying that because I want to make sure you clicked on the right timestamp. So if you do need to go back and change groups, now's your chance. So Group 4, I got 2 oracle cards out here for you, which will tell us more about your financial situation over the next 7 days. I want to say that there is a little passage in the book that we're going to read out with this card. It's one of my newer oracle decks, so I'm still getting acquainted with it. And while I am an intuitive reader, these recent 2 decks that I've acquired have beautiful guidebooks and just many profound messages that I could learn from. So while I'm learning them, I want to share it with you as well. Starting with this vow card, I can see Group 4 that your next 7 days are definitely going to require you to commit yourself to something when it comes to your finances. This vow is either about upholding a vow that you've already taken when it comes to your finances, maybe a budgeting vow for some of you, while for others of you, this is a vow of patience and about understanding that the situation that you're in is temporary and it will pay off in the long run. I feel like this vow is maybe about you testing your loyalty to something as well. You may be wanting to know if the grass is greener on the other side, Group 4. I think that some of you are at a point where you're trying to assess your situation and figure out if you got the best deal or not. So for that reason, Group 4, I feel like some of you are having doubts about your financial situation at the moment and potentially trying to figure out if you accidentally committed yourself to a raw deal, something that was not completely in your favor. I do think that you're a loyal person and I don't see you taking any drastic action in the next 7 days, but I do see you wanting more information and seeking out more information. I do think with this refinement card here, that the goal is to kind of ensure that you're taking the cream off the top and that somebody isn't getting there first and just giving you the skim milk. It feels like your situation could improve when it comes to your finances, and you're very aware of that. You're trying to understand what things you could do to make your finances better, or how to get a better version of your career even. Some of you are trying to see how to make yourself get that promotion or how to gain that kind of extra income. I feel with the number 42 here, you have a fairly stable position at the moment with your finances, but I do see you trying to strategize with this too and negotiate your terms, potentially trying to look at your employment and find little ways around it to take advantage of it. For some of you, this has to do with holidays. You're looking at your leave and trying to figure out what you need to do in order to make sure you can take that time off. It's kind of like you're reading your contract or you're going over information in your mind over the next 7 days. With Scorpio being here in the corner, it does feel like the goal is to get a better outcome, like to transform the situation and ensure that you're on top of the transformation. But I think with this air element down here, you're not just going to rush into that process. You're going to want to be careful. You're going to want to think about it. You want to have the information. You're going to want to get advice. You're going to want to check your contract and just make sure that you're in the right position to make this happen. So I don't see, for a lot of you, like 90% of your group, I don't see any drastic changes. I see you wanting to just observe information, gather information, and understand how you could improve your financial situation, maybe making some plans for the future before you commit yourself to any one thing. So let's read that excerpt from the book when it comes to this Dahlia card for you, and this should hopefully tell us more about your situation and more helpful information / advice. So the Dahlia card in this deck, also known as the refinement card, is associated with the air element and the number 42. The excerpt for you is, be receptive to communications and messages that are incoming at present, as there is much to benefit your situation, your current situation. Dahlias inspire and ask you to improve yourself and current situations. You may find keys and deeper meanings to mysteries that have evaded you for some time, or be given offers that seem unusual. It can be very easy to fall for deceptive flattery and to have unrealistic expectations at the moment. Yeah, I do see you researching things. I see some of y'all, this is probably because this is what I'd be doing too, but I see some of y'all like looking at rental properties or houses to buy and just lavish holidays and just kind of, going down that little web, that little, what's the word, little tunnel as we do, getting a bit extravagant with our imagination. But I do think that all of this is to inspire you to look at how you could refine your current situation and really maximize your potential income, your potential earnings and experiences. Because when we improve our income, we can improve our lifestyle as well. So group 4, let's get some tarot out here to get some more specific messages. What do they need to know about their finances over the next 7 days, please, Spirit? Group 4. We have the Queen of Swords showing up for you in the reverse position. Queen of Swords reversed. You don't want to make a hasty decision, so please don't. That's kind of an advice card too, but I feel like you're weighing something up and you may be a little bit unrealistic about it with the Queen of Swords being reversed, like that Dahlia card was saying. Oh, the Fool card flashing itself. We have the 3 of Torches coming out. Yeah, I see you wanting a new beginning for some of you, but you're hesitant about what path, where to instigate this or what path to take. Some of y'all are being very unrealistic by facing the wrong direction as well. Just kind of getting lost in your energy here and not making any practical steps forward. Just kind of ruminating your energy on things that have no grounding. What else can you tell group 4 about their finances over the next 7 days? Group 4. We have the Ace of Cups. Wow. What's our back of the deck energy? The 10 of Torches. Okay. Responsibilities. We may be in this whimsical energy because we're trying to evade our responsibilities. So we're out here, looking at those websites and imagining what our life would be like if we lived in that beautiful big house on the hill. So I do think that this week for you, when it comes to your finances, there is a feeling of burdens and responsibilities and just feeling exhausted. Some of y'all need to figure out how to work smarter instead of harder. Maybe you are hustling towards a goal here and you just need to figure out better ways to do it, because I see with the 10 of Torches, we're reaching burnout. So rather than overload ourselves trying to get to this sweet promise that we've made to ourselves, it may be time to start strategizing and finding alternatives. And I think that's why ultimately, even if you're unrealistically, swiping through the most expensive houses in the area, it may be because at your core, there's only so much longer you can do this for. You need a break, you need a change of pace, you need a change of energy when it comes to your finances or your career, group 4. I want to say at the start of the week with this Queen of Swords reversed that something is coming your way. Either you weren't expecting it. It feels like information, by the way. Information's coming your way. Either you weren't expecting it or you're looking at it too subjectively. This information has you hyper fixated on one aspect of your life instead of the bigger picture. And you're focusing very much on that aspect to the point where you're aware of the mistakes, you're aware of the things you don't like, of the things you want to like. And it could be your car, to give you an example. Maybe you're like, oh, I just wish I had a reliable car. And instead of looking for something just reliable, you're looking at the most expensive option. Or it could be your clothing. Maybe you want a better job, but you feel like you need to dress better. Whatever it is, instead of addressing the overall issue, we're looking at this as a very subjective piece of information that only applies to one aspect of our life. And it has us hyper fixated, almost like tunnel vision, on that one aspect of our life instead of the other overwhelming responsibilities and what all of that is trying to tell us to focus on. As the week progresses with this 3 of Torches, What happens with your financial situation is that you're starting to feel very stuck. You're starting to feel like, for some of you, you bit off more than you could chew in a workplace situation. It feels like it could be a busy week for you, or you're just feeling exhausted, drained. I don't have any more energy to do this. How much longer do I have to do this? I need temporary relief. You may be planning or hoping for a short-term holiday, getting a weekend off here and there, or a day off here and there, calling in sick here and there. But with the Three of Torches reversed, this is a temporary fix. The overall solution is in the other direction, but we feel like we can't address that bigger picture yet. We're still thinking subjectively. We're still looking at our immediate situation, our immediate problems, our immediate crisis, and how we need to remedy that with an immediate fix. By the end of the week, I do see a new opportunity here with your finances, but it's coming in the form of the Ace of Cups. Now, I don't see this as you, again, causing any radical change, but I do see this as you accepting something finally. It feels like your heart is opening to a new opportunity, and this is forcing you to also eventually look at your finances differently. It's an interesting turn of events, and I think that it could be very subtle for some of you. It's not going to be this grandiose fairy tale captivating opportunity, but it's just enough to change the pace of things. Now, all of a sudden, you're looking at something else instead of yourself. Instead of being hyper fixated on this, you're looking at this cup that someone's giving you, this opportunity, this emotional opportunity. Let's clarify what this Ace of Cups is specifically for you. We have the Ten of Swords reversed. I do feel like somebody's reaching out to you in an attempt to kind of get your attention. And it feels like secondarily, this is impacting your finances because it's actually giving you new energy and it's helping you focus on something new rather than the stress of your work situation, of your financial situation. I feel like this Ace of Cups isn't actually directly linked to your finances, but it has the secondary impact of giving you relief because it's giving you emotional support. The back of the deck, we had the moon here, and in this deck, the moon is actually crying onto these two people as they meet under this moon sky with those two wolves or dogs watching. As shown in traditional tarot, there's usually a dog and a lobster in the water. In this case, we have two dogs. So I feel that some emotional opportunity at the end of the week is actually going to help you accept how much you've been carrying when it comes to your work. It's going to help you accept your situation for what it is and the fact that you need to be thinking and looking at the bigger picture. With the Ten of Swords reversed, you're feeling like you're able to talk to someone about what you're going through, and this is helping you feel more aware of actually what you've been going through. It's almost like you've been in the same rhythm for so long that it's not until this opportunity that you are able to really debrief and de-stress and really connect with your experiences over the last months to years for some of you. I think that you are a loyal person, but your financial situation needs to change. Your workplace situation may need to change. It feels like we've been feeding a lot of energy into something and getting very little in return. So I do see an opportunity this week to help you look at that bigger picture again, to help you feel like you have someone there to support you, and to help you feel like you have choices. You're not dead yet. You're not at the end of your tunnel. You're not at the end of your rope with that Ten of Swords reversed. There is still hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. You're not fully betrayed by your situation. There is a way out. I see that this emotional opportunity is going to be a chance for you to just let some heavy feelings out, have a deep and meaningful conversation, and better understand your situation, how much it's been impacting you emotionally, and how much you actually want to put an end to this, because it's not going anywhere in terms of what you want. and also in terms of what you committed yourself to. This was not what you signed up for, is what I feel. And I'm just realizing now that your number over here is 54 on the vow card, and we have the number 42. So I feel like you're rocking the boat a little bit, but I also think that there's been signs that some big changes need to happen. And unfortunately, it's just been one crisis after another, maybe, and you've only been able to focus on the ground and putting out those immediate fires rather than remedying the volcano that's been erupting and causing this fiery havoc in your life. So I do think that you're getting this blessing at the end of the week. Pay attention, because this Ace of Cups could be as plain as an invitation from a loved one saying, hey, I haven't seen you in ages. Do you want to catch up this week? Which in turn is not a promise, right? It's an opportunity for you to say yes or no to. Is it very likely that some of y'all will turn this down? So be open to invitations, to opportunities to connect with people that you trust or have an emotional connection to, because this is going to actually help you offload some of the heaviness that you've been carrying with your financial situation and start exploring solutions to those problems on a more long-term energy. Let's get some more advice for you to close your reading though. Group 4, please, Spirit. What is the advice for them when it comes to their financial situation? Hi, we have making a choice and mountain. This is actually good energy to get. So making a choice is the number 30 and mountain is the number 6. So group 4, this is cool. I like this for you. I think that you need to be empowered by choice right now. The important thing about your situation is I do think that there are stakes involved. There's maybe contracts involved. There's a level of responsibility involved. So I can appreciate that this is a tricky situation for you, and it's one that you don't want to just kind of rush into, and that's fine. But you do need to know that you have choices. And Spirit is saying there are always, always choices in life. However stuck you feel, however tunneled in you feel, you always have choices. So your advice is to seek out your options, seek out your choices, ask questions, get curious, figure out what other people are doing. Do it secretly if you have to, because I'm sensing that you want to be careful. You don't want to jeopardize your current position, and that's fine. You don't need to put yourself in that kind of vulnerable situation. Be careful, be secretive, but do examine your options with your finances and the choices that you have to get out of the situation, especially if it's a contract that isn't working in your favor. I see with making a choice that eventually you're going to need to make a decision, and I do think that as you gain more information, you're going to take a fairly risky decision, but it's not an undercalculated one. It may be risky, but it's going to be a well-calculated decision. In fact, I see you really making sure that all your ducks are in a row before you make this choice, which is why you need to gather as much information as you can, even if you do that secretively. The goal here with the mountain is to get you to this point of being able to mine your resources and the effort that you put into a situation. For some of you, you're in a job situation where you do a heck of a lot more than what you're recognized for and than what you're paid for. You have more experience than your current situation is actually crediting you for. And I do see with this mountain here that there are better, more valuable, more deserved and well-earned riches lying ahead. The mountain makes me think of like a dwarf mountain, especially in like Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien kind of universe, where the dwarves basically ran the mountains, you know, with the rubies and the emeralds and the gold in general. That's what it kind of feels like. It feels like you almost have this ode to you at this point, because you have so much untapped or unrecognized skills, or so many untapped, unutilized pieces of information that could pay you better in different situations if you were to utilize those skills better. So I do think that your advice here is to explore your opportunities. With Mountain here, something is going to stand out to you. It's not going to be subtle. It's going to be obvious, because not only does it pay well, but it actually shines a light on a talent or a skill that you have within you, Group 4. So get curious, ask questions. If you feel comfortable, start asking those around you what else is out there, or what they're going through, or what they know by way of opportunities in employment avenues, and start understanding that you are an untapped resource. You have skills that can be better utilized, and you deserve recognition for the effort that you put into your workplace as well. So Group 4, that's what I'm seeing for you. I think you are the longest financial reading. Listen, finances are always a weird reading to do. I do like doing them, but they can hit different. So if this message didn't 100% resonate, you may have messages in another group. Otherwise, please remember it's a general reading, so take what resonates, don't force anything to fit, and by all means, don't let the rest take from you. I want to thank you for supporting me over here on YouTube and supporting tarot in general on YouTube. Thank you to our spiritual teams, angels, ancestors, and guides for helping me channel these messages and for keeping me safe while doing so. And I shall see you in another video. Bye!